Yeah, I will start with this one user template which we use for capturing the or conducting the data mapping session. Once we do that, then I have one sample data file which I will show you how I create the script and I will run it. Then we move on to scheduling part where how I prepare the batch script and how I schedule it for running it in a different time. I'll show those stuff in this session today. Okay.
All right. Cool.
Okay. The first thing is it's always a element map where you and the ERP side person has to be in the same page so that he understands what is that you're trying to do and what is the type of data you are expecting from him for creation of user in Taleo. Okay. The first thing usually I always prefer is having a TCC record identifier in the first row, which what it does is it will be usually the username only, but when I get the response file or error file, I will system will not give me the username against which the record has got failed. So by keeping the TCC record identifier as a username, when I go to the error file, I can see that the record identifier shows that record number 2345, which is an employee ID I have used. Against that, there is this one field which is not exist, or it's not able to find, or it's incorrect or inactive or something like that. So by doing that, I'll be able to go and track it very easily.
Okay, but how do you populate it? Based on what?
I'll show you. Now you can see that this is the identifier. Maybe when I run the script, that I'll show you why I need this identifier. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This is actually an example for you. If I don't have the identifier, the error file or response file will be look like this. The only way for me to go and search is with this index number. I'll say, okay, index number is 3, and the data file. Okay. Data file the 3 is this one. So I'll have to search like this. If I keep the identifier, I can go to the username directly. I can just have to search for the username. I will find the username here, which is identifier. Then I'll go and see, okay, what was the issue? Directly I can go and check it. Okay. That's the reason I always prefer to keep identifier, which the identifier and the username will be the same thing. Whatever the primary key you're going to use, that will be the identifier for you.
Okay, so in case if it is email address,
yeah, exactly. Okay. And then the username would be the company's user credentials, whatever the username they use to access different application. That will be the username used for Taleo as well. I'll have that. I'm going to use that username as a primary key in my user import. And the password is not mandatory. If you are not sending the password, it will still create the user account. But in this case, I'll just will send some. And then we have a role collection. Role collection is something which is used for user type and user group creation. Now, one user can have a tag to multiple user type, right?
True.
And since we this is the integration and it is ongoing, and if the user is moving from one department to another, or if user type is getting changed, or or some,
or maybe he's a manager. So yeah, we have to have hiring manager, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what this role collection does is, if you send value as true, what it does is it will remove all the user type from the specific user, and it will update the new as per the new data file.
Okay.
And if you send false, it will just update whatever the data, data file has got. It will not remove the previous one. It will just go and update it.
I see. But I think you're gonna put true for everybody, right?
Usually, that is the best practice. If there is any changes, it's better you send to whatever the data is there in the current HR system as a user type. It will get updated. So that is true. Yeah, always I prefer to send the true value.
Because I don't think the ERP, like let's say you have 2,000 employees, I don't think you will go into record by record and check who has changes or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the user type. User type, one user can have multiple user types, so we'll have to decide how many max user type you have got, and let's say usually one 2,000 employee organization will have like max up to 3 to 4 user types depending upon their role responsibilities. So in this case I will consider 4. I'll say 4. Also I will put yes to 4 user types. And I will not select anything for no. I don't want to use user types 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I will explain you more about this once I start showing the sample data. And then we have a first name which you need to create. You really need for that information for creating a user, and then the initial, last name, and the employee ID, yes, of course, and the work phone number if required. Extension I don't want to, so I will say no. And employee email address, yes. And the content language, it's not really necessary, so I'll say no. Correspondence, no. Force new password. If you send true here, since it's if it is a new employee, when the employee log into the system will force him to change the password at the first login.
What if so we pass false except for the few people who are new? Or how does it work? Does it differentiate between a new employee and an old employee, or if you put true, it will force everybody to change their password?
If you put true, then it will force everybody to change password. So the import file should have that. When you extract that, you have to put that intelligent in the system, saying that if it is a new employee, then push it as true. If it is the old employee, just an update, then push it as false. Okay. Job title, yes. Yes. And the group collection. Group, again, the same concept. If you have a multiple user group, and if you want to wanted to keep on updating, clean the previous one, update the new one, then it's yes, we need that to be sent as true. Then the user groups, I'll say yes for 2, and all others I'll put no.
This file is prepared by you yourself, or is it a common document? Or
this is something our organization, we sit and created it. There are a lot of input from different people. Yeah, accordingly we built that.
Okay, so you created this yourself.
Yeah. It's a data dictionary. If you go there, you get all those information. What is this user group? What is the values? Everything you will get it. I mean, on that basis, if you put everything in one place, it's easy when you do the it's like a reusable component. What we say, we create as and when we go for one project to another, we learn something, then we come and accommodate, insert or update those documents so that next time it can be used by any of our consultants. When they are in the customer place.
I see. So the concept of something like group collection, true and false, it's something built by you, by your own logic. It's not something that's standard.
It is a Taleo standard. It is there in the system.
Okay.
Okay. This is something. It's already there. It's not something I invented or built it. It's already there. We haven't done anything. This is the same concept which is already there in the system. Okay.
Okay.
Status, yes, if I send active, yes, and department number I'm not gonna send now. Configuration profile, code, that is yes, we need that. These are the three default delivered configuration profile here, and if your organization has got a custom one, you can have that as a code here as well, which can be sent from the from the system. Coverage area code, I don't need, or functional ones, okay. And then we have these three, which is for coverage area, which I'm going to utilize the groups concept to do the data segmentation. So I'm not going to put anything here. Okay. And
Do we have any mandatory columns, or that's based on logic, on what you need?
Yeah, that is on logic. Yeah, of course, there are fields like you know email address, which is really required. Username, it's required, and those are the two information which is really required to create. Then
That's
those
what I
are
was
the
asking.
two. Yeah, those are the
How
two
can,
information which is required. Yeah, please tell me.
how can you differentiate if it is a mandatory or not? Or because you're the one who built it, you know?
Yeah, I know, but in the data dictionary it is mentioned to create user account. Let's say if you want to create a if you are creating a requisition, it's a straightforward. It's a functional. A functional guy should be able to tell you that what is that you need as a mandatory, because he's the one who define which field is mandatory for saving, which field is mandatory for posting, right? So of course, the functional guy will have those information. He will be able to tell you that these are the fields which we need as part of the interface, and these are the fields are mandatory, and they will give you all the specification, which field has got a text field, which field is a selection list, and what are the available values. You can see that possible values what you see here. Here you will have all the for this true false. If it is if it is a requisition import, the functional person should be able to give you all those information for which field, what are the available fields, and what is that they want to be updated for each and every type of scenarios. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
could you show us how do we access the data dictionary you're talking about?
maybe once we complete this, I'll log into Oracle, docs.oracle, and then we can, yeah, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Okay. Once I have this, I'll take these fields. Okay. This is the data which we decided to have that in the user import. So just to complete this, I'll just use some. There's a sample data which I'm gonna give it to the ERP team so that they understand what is that they have to send it to me. Then username, then I have password. Role collections to user type. User type, I will use this information, the prefix has to be like this, and then Sagi, can you share the credentials again with me? I just have to log in and see what is the available codes over there.
Okay. Right. We won the match, and what?
Again, I thought you were working.
Sorry?
I thought you were working.
When it comes to football, we just forget work.
Which team are you talking about?
Arsenal.
Football who's playing?
Yeah, here you can see it.
Yesterday, not today.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
He saw that in my screen, and now he just he's saying that yeah, we won the match, so why are you still watching? Looking at? Sakir, what is the URL?
Yeah.
SVC.
Can you 01? Yeah, okay.
It has to be in this format.
Yeah.
From the Taleo.user role dot the code.
Yeah.
Code, exactly. Okay. This is for user type, and this one I'll just keep it blank. Just test user. Yeah, this is the sample data, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build this script now.
That file was normal Excel or CSV?
I will convert it later. This is just a file. I'm gonna put it in another file and I'll convert it to CSV when I start consuming it.
Okay. So why this time did you use smart org instead of recruiting?
Recruiting, under recruiting you will not see the user entities. It's under okay, under smart arc you will only see the informations are, if you go to this one. I'm actually the smart arc, right? So all the informations, all the entities related to smart arcs are user, group, type, configuration profile, and OLF, organization, business unit, location, job field, network data, and then we have roles, which is these two are specific to performance module. These all these informations comes under smart arc. So when I run, no, when I create a script, I'll have to go to the product smarter. Then only I will be able to see user uh, under smarter. If I try to search under recruiting, no, you will not be able to find it.
Okay. But will this create these people as candidates as well, internal?
Yeah, exactly. In Taleo, candidate and the users are different entities. But yeah, of course, since we gonna manage or use same employee ID, username, they will be in sync, but they are two different parts.
What if it's a new employee?
Same thing. When
I mean,
what? Yeah.
let's say you import a user of a new employee. Okay, it will create a record for him with his name, title, and this and that, and his user permission, and then so on and so on. But will he be as a candidate, internal candidate? So if I go to candidate screen, will I be able to search for him, or will be he some user?
Okay. The sequence is like this. First thing, you create a candidate. Okay. I'll give you a business scenario. Now, before someone become a user, they are a candidate, right? They applied for a job and they got selected. So
Not
once they,
necessarily.
sorry.
Maybe we're talking about import, right? Let's say I have an organization of 2,000 employees. All of
Okay.
these 2,000 employees, I should consider them my internal candidates, whether they
Yes.
apply or not. Give
Yes.
them the chance to apply if they want to.
Yes.
So they should be candidates.
Okay.
Not
If you're
not candidates.
Okay, if you're talking about the data migration first time upload, yeah, again the same concept. First, you create the candidate profile. You create a candidate profile of all the internal employees, and you make sure that you update their username as the name, email address, all those stuff, and then you have to those candidate ID has to be sent to ERP system, so that the search for now candidate is in
code first time around on the candidate profile? Is that what you're saying?
We are not. Your voice is breaking. I cannot hear you properly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
You can. Yeah, I can hear you, but there is some background noise. But yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Bad or it's okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, tell me.
Okay. My question is, you have a new project and implementation, right?
Okay.
Now you start to do the integration part between Taleo and EBS.
Okay.
Okay. So you start with the OLF foundation data.
Okay.
Or whatever it is, okay? Work structures, things that you need to use beforehand, okay? And then you need to do the employees. And then users, or you can do them together, like what you did right now. Is that only users, or is it employees and users at the same time? Because you're putting first name, last name, email address. So are you creating users with employees one step, or you have to do them in 2 steps?
Okay, it always has to be 2-step. You have to run 2 scripts to create candidate and create users. That is 2 different entities. It will be
2
always
different entities.
yeah.
Okay, but so why is he asking for the first name and the initial and the last name in your?
Okay,
Shouldn't we do the employees first before the users? You do that usually, right?
Yeah, but still, as I said, candidate is different. Candidate is different and user is different. If I try to create one user, again, you can see that first thing it will ask you is, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen, but your screen shows me Taleo Connect. That's it. No, I cannot see your screen.
No, it actually Sagir dropped off from the call, so it was showing me that waiting to view Sagir's screen, Sagir Abdullah's screen. Sagir?
Yeah.
Let me ping him. Hey Sagir, I think you got disconnected, right? Now it's showing Sagir Abdullah as the presenter.
I see the other ground. Hold on. Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Abdullah, can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, let's say if I want to create a user from the front end, when I go to user account and click on create, first name and last name is mandatory here. This is the form for creation of user, right? Here also you have to put those information again. Now, I understood your point, saying that if the candidate account is already there, why do you need the first name and last name for the same candidate again, right?
Especially that if somebody did a spelling mistake or something, like it will be somebody different, right? How is it mapping the username with the right candidate? There is no ID. I didn't see any ID.
Okay, the ID will be the username and the employee ID. That will be the ID, but what you are looking for is a complete sync between candidate and user, which is not there. In Taleo, it is completely 2 different entities. But if you are using a Taleo performance module, yes, you need that sync between a employee profile in performance and the user account. Those 2 are linked and synced between together. That will happen when. Okay, one second. That sync will come. Yeah.
Sorry, Naveen. So you're telling me this form will only create for me the user. It won't create for me, which is not true, by the way.
No, I didn't get
You can try it yourself if you want. Create a user from the user interface using the user account screen, okay? And make sure that you don't select a system user. There will be a checkbox which
Yes.
says system user.
Yes.
Let's say write test 1000. Okay. No need for employee ID. Go down. You can put personal email and go through all the steps. At the end, you can, if you want, go then to candidate search and you can search for this person. As long as you don't check the system user part.
I'll tell you why you are able to search the candidate in that full email address. You are going to update the employee data here, employee information. When you update the employee information, then the user account get created, the candidate account get created automatically. But that is something which you don't want to use unless you are using performance module in the system.
Well, this is the page of creating a user account. Like it doesn't give me any option. So always when I create an account, there will always be
Okay.
when you fill out the information, a section, blah blah blah, the operation.
Okay. This is something, when you create a employee information in Taleo user account, this will create a employee profile as well as candidate file in the system, which is tagged to your user, which you don't want to use. You shouldn't be creating for only Taleo recruiting module.
Okay, so in this case, if I want to use this through the user interface, like what are you doing? In this case, I keep this empty so that
Yes,
I don't.
Exactly.
Okay, could you please try? Could you please click next?
Okay.
Try.
Paste. What was that? 999.
This is which release, by the way?
Sorry?
You know? Which release is this?
This one, I believe it's a 14B. 14B.
Okay.
Now you are saying that the system user things has to be unchecked, right? Did I do that?
I don't think there is one. That's why I asked you for the release. Because the one I worked on was the TCC.
Okay, I'll tell you what is that system user. Initially it was not there, then they introduced it, then again they removed it. The reason behind that is, if you select that if you select that system user checkbox, that will be, that user will not be, this user will not be available to search in the user entity, unless you have a special, super user access, which can only Taleo guys can do. The reason why they check, system user is, if I'm the system administrator or super user in the organization, and you don't want, or you are not expecting any of the other colleagues who are in your organization to have access to user account and make some changes. So that's why when you check that and save it, your user account will not be able to search, will not become searchable for any users other than the Oracle support. Okay, that's the only reason behind that. Now I tell, now you were saying that you want me to search this candidate, right?
Yes. No, not in the user accounts.
One minute. I just forgot what are the email address I given.
It was test 1000. So test@invalid.com. There you go.
I will not be able to search the candidate. Do you have any another way you want me to search?
No, but it's now it's different from 13C. 13C like it's the same. I didn't even put any values. I just put first name, last name, email address, and they become candidates. Maybe they change it in 14B. That's why I asked about the version.
Okay.
So yeah.
The main reason why the candidate get created is when you update the employee information in that second section. When you do that, the employee profile, which is specific to Taleo performance, and the candidate account will get created automatically, which is not the right approach for Taleo recruitment implementation. It's always the candidate and the user only. You don't have the employee profile there, and there are different opportunities. When the candidate log in, or a user log into the system, when you create the employee profile, they will be asked to sync their profile with the candidate record. Most of the time they will not aware of their candidate credentials, because they join the organization. They might have organization might have changed their user credentials, all those stuff. So they will not be able to access it properly, and their another candidate profile get created because of that. That what it makes is that they will have two candidate profiles. Just to avoid that, it's always we try to separate, we do the separate thing where you have a candidate profile and the user account. Both are same, both are different, but you will have a sync with the usernames, and if required, sometime email address as well. But both are a different entity in Taleo when you talk about Taleo recruiting infrastructure or architecture.
Okay. But you do the employees first, then you do the users, or it doesn't matter?
It actually, first I do the candidate update, and I will make sure the candidate is created, and they'll have a username and employee ID all created, so that and then I'll go and update the user account or create the user account. So this is the file. Let me start creating one. So username. First I will have a identifier, then the username, password, then I will go for the first name, last name. The employer ID. Correspondence email. Job title. Give me a minute, I think I'm missing something here.
Sure, no problem.
Now I have inserted all the fields which I need for import. Now I'll start configuring it. The first thing is user account login name. Since it's a primary key, I'm going to use this as a use the value to search or lookup, and also I'll say also set this value in the entity so that the account is created in the system. Okay. Then I'll change this target to user account so that become a primary key now. The password, which is I'm gonna push it in the import. Then the role collection. This is the role collection where I will send the value as true or false, and it's set as a role collection. Then the user types. User types keep the same thing. I will not make changes. But for the first user type, I will make that I'll make sure that at least one user type is sent in any of the data file, so that I will not make and the second I will make that as skip value skip column if value is empty. Third one also same thing. Fourth one also same thing. And at the same time I'll have to make sure that lookup, yes. And the first name, last name, change. So okay, I can make this as a search. I don't want. I just want to update it. Okay. Title, user group, also the same collection. The name, I will say search for it.
What is the title again? Job title,
Sorry?
you mean?
Either
Title.
job title, yeah. Which we have, job title here.
But isn't this an employee information? You said that if you enter an employee information, then it will create an employee record, right?
If okay, that is not an employee information in the UI. If I go there, it's actually user information. Here you have this title. This is not a employee information. This is a user account information. Okay.
Okay. Right.
And then group name. First one I'll keep mandatory. Second skip. Search value is okay. Then I have to set the new element in the
What was that?
which one?
There was this noise. Like, I don't know,
Oh, okay.
like a train or something.
Ambulance maybe.
Ambulance. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my house is near to
I
a
will
college.
have it named that user creation. Okay. I will save this file as a CSV. So, let's run this. I'm sure I'll get some error. Uh, I'm gonna execute now. Data files, Okay, but these two users are created. The user type which I selected for.
He has one extra user type which is apparently not active.
Yeah, exactly. I'll not search for that. I will search with this candidate or user which I have created. Hmm.
Remove the name. Oh, that's his name.
Yeah. You can see that. So types. I haven't updated anything related to employee information, and so group coverage area, no, general preference set will be automatically populated through configuration profile. So this is how the user type is created, or user account has been created. Now I will show you any question on no, import of user.
No, no, it's fine. The process is fine, but there's one part where you did something in the configuration file that I don't use. You selected parameters for clients or something.
Sorry, what did I do? Okay,
Uh, uh,
this
determine the
configuration.
file name. Yeah, and the configuration. No, no, not
Okay,
the import.
okay.
CFG.
CFC, I didn't do anything. I just okay. What I did was I'll show you again. The thing was I saved this file somewhere else in a different customer folder by accidentally. So I just saved it in this training folder. Then I clicked on new. I select the import specification, which the file which I have created. This is a training folder and user creation ID. Then I'll select the endpoint, which will be the SVC consulting.
Okay, could you go to the where the request section is? Request and response.
Mm-hmm.
Usually I select predefined value instead of provided in the client parameters.
Okay, here you're saying that you provide that, right? Okay, that will be
Predefined.
popular. Okay, that I will show you what happens now. When I say save, okay, let me save with another name, configuration 1. Okay, now these values currently it is provided in the client parameter, right? That will be selected when I execute it. Here it's asked for the request file and
Okay.
response file. Okay, by
Okay.
select, I will select the data file. This is the data file,
So
and
rather than
and
selecting it as predefined value,
yeah,
you just put it as a parameter.
yeah, exactly. I'll select it in the parameters. Yeah. Here I'm gonna give what is the data file and the response file. Response file I have created here. I'll do one thing. I'll create a new one underscore response 2
Yeah, I
dot
understand. It's
0.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to run it. It's, I understand.
Okay. Now, so I believe you understood the concept. Now I'll move to the scheduling part.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep those stuff. Okay. In a C drive, if you go to Taleo Connect client, there will be one batch file available, which with the name as Taleo Connect client. You can see that Windows batch file. Okay. I'll just take that and I'm going to put that in the I'm going to put that here. I'll save here. Okay. Then I go to edit. you can see that this is the batch file which is used for executing a lot of information in the which is actually created by the installation file. And now once you get in there, what I'm going to do is I'll just rename it to save as. I will say that this is first one. I'm going to use it for export. So new file export batch file, and okay, I'll save it in the new hire export file only. So there's one more thing. It's always better you keep these files in the C drive so that it has to be executed by Windows scheduler. So I would always keep these scripts in the Windows C drive. There is already one. No, it's the address. Okay. Then I will go and make the changes to this. Here is the one. Go to edit. There's two things I need to change. One is the IC home. IC home is where the TCC is installed. Since it is a C drive, I'll just take the path, copy that and paste it here. That is one step you need to do. The second step is you come to REM execution, Taleo Connect client here. You since it's an export, first file path you need to give, file name you have to give is the configuration file path. How I'm gonna get that? I go to TCC Training. Export file is in here. The execution, the path. I'll put it in quotation, and then the slash configuration file name, and I'll close this, and then we'll give a space and then put the code. Then I will give the export path, export plus SQ file path. Dot.
And it has to be in this order, or
sorry, that has to be
in this order. I mean, does that?
Yeah, exactly. Our order has to be this one. Yes, XML. XML. Then the since it's export, what is the name of the file you want to say? I will say test .csv. Okay. This is the export file name I want it to be. So this is done, and save as. New export batch file. Okay. The C drive, training folder, NAR export. I have this file created now. Just for testing purpose, I will execute it now. You can see that there's an error. I will see what is that error. using file. Well, command line invocation is incorrect. Hmm. Now you can see that the extract has been produced. You have a data here. So I haven't gone to Taleo UI and executed it. I just executed from the batch file which is here, which I have created just now. Okay. Any question till here?
What did you change in the batch file?
Okay, I'll show. First thing I have changed is the IC home. I just mentioned that okay, the TCC installation file is in C drive. The folder is Taleo Connect line. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I come to this parameter where I give a path in which in the sequence in which it has to run. The mistake I did was I mentioned one more quote here, so it was taking the sequence was incorrect. Now what I did was, first thing is I pasted the path for execution of configuration file.
Mm-hmm.
Then the export file, SQ file.
Mm-hmm.
And then I given the name of the extract which I want to consume.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So
do you need the teleconnect what do you call it, user interface to be open for this to work?
no, it doesn't have. No, it's not. I'll just close it. It doesn't have to. It just executes it. It will run in the background and it will execute all the sequence and give you the data. And the path, you can give a path of any folder wherever you want to save it. If you're not giving any path, just a name, then it will save in the same folder where the execution is happened.
Okay.
Okay. So
The
this
batch
is
file, where the batch file is, or where the configuration file is?
it's where the configuration file is.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you run it again, because we missed it, to be honest. So you prepared this file. So
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Then I will go and execute. Now the test. This is the name of the file which I have given. So test CSV file got created, and the time of the
I'm sorry. Tell us verbally, because we can see the screen, but it's like you're breaking out. So after
Okay.
you close, you go to the file, and how do you batch file. You right click on
Yeah,
execute
it
or
just double click it. It's a batch file.
okay.
Just double click it. It will start executing.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right.
So it gets created. Now I'll delete this. I'll delete this. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna schedule this so that I know every day at this time it can be run. So that's one of the part, right? So what I have to do is I'll have to go to control panel, administration tool. You have task scheduler. Say click create task. I'll say new export, and done when the user is logged on, run whether not store password, run with highest privilege. Then I select the trigger. Daily trigger every 1 day, and then the date from the time in which when you want this to be triggered. You can say okay. Then delay task before repeat task every restore. It's depend when how the execution has to happen. Action here you give the reference ID. Start the program is the scheduling, and go to that specific folder. TCC Training new head export. This is the batch file which I have created. I'll select that. Yes. Say okay. And the conditions. With the computer into task. Run as soon as possible after schedule. Starting using this task.
So usually, where do you make the scheduling? Like, I mean, where do you put the batch files for the client on the server? You have to make sure that it's a 24/7 running server, or where do you put them?
Actually, in the server, it can be any server where the reason is servers are maintained by IT team and it will be up to date, and it will never shut down, so that all the tasks are executed on time without any hassles. Yeah, any server.
The Unix, Linux.
Sorry.
They are using Linux or Unix or.
For Linux, we have to write what is that file name? This is jar. No, not jar. What's the name? The way you for Windows you have created batch file. For Linux you will have to create what's the file name? What is it? I don't know. I never did anything related to any implementation for a Linux server where deploying it in Linux server. But for batch Windows, it's a batch file which you create, and the way it is created I just showed you.
How much do you usually put buffer between every run?
Sorry?
What's the minimum? Like, what's the minimum that you make between, like, the scheduling period? Some things you schedule for 10 minutes, some of them half an hour. What's the minimum?
Half an hour to 1 hour we give a time. Half an hour to 1 hour, yes.
Okay.
The reason is just to make sure that everything is updated and give a ample time to execution is complete. Sometimes what happens due to some server issues, the certain execution is not happen, and it will take some time. When you schedule a scheduler, here you have a lot of things. If the task is well reset every something like that, if you give all those conditions here, then it will make sure that it get completed, so that then the next one is run. Otherwise, all the subsequent import or export will fail because of one data is not updated in the initial initially. For example, organization was supposed to be there, it is not there. Because of that, any requisition or department which needs to be created again, tagging to that will not proceed because that the first execution is failed. So that's the only reason you have to give some time between a different extract or import.
I see.
This is the file which I have created, the scheduler, and it is supposed to run at 2:30. We'll see that, or I can just execute it by myself. I can say click on run.
And to troubleshoot, you use the file that's generated, right?
Yeah, exactly. The log which generates it, by just going into that, you'll get to know.
Yeah, which you call the test.xml.
That is the test one is the extract I given. One second. Log
You deleted
here.
it.
It will create again. It will actually create every time when there is execution.
Okay.
It's running now. It's executed. Something wrong with this. Export. When the login now. One with higher privilege. Trigger. Daily. Schedule. No higher export match routing. Let me move on to import script. I'll have to see once we do the user thing. We'll see how it works.
So what was happening? Scheduling is not running the program or something?
Yeah, exactly. The very reason I kept the file in the C drive is to execute it, but it's showing that it's executing, but it's not actually executing. The reason is when I execute this file here, it's running properly. So that scheduler has to execute it with the result files populating, but it's not happening. I'll have to see. Let me run the import, then see if something is issue with that. I'll troubleshoot that. Okay, now I'll take the same one. I'll save as user creation. This is the creation, and the first thing I change is the IC home. I'll just give a reference of this path. Then I come here. I'll give a path of the configuration file for import. Then the data file path I need to give. So sorry, I cannot hear you, Ahmad. Hello.
CSV file or
Yeah, CSV file import file. Yeah, CSV import file. The data in which the data will be there. I have to give that.
because in the import process, there are three files, right? There is one which is the import, where you
Yes.
select the columns, and
Yes.
there is the data file, which is CSV, and there is the configuration, which is so you put
Exactly.
the configuration first, and then
Yes.
you put what? The data file.
Yeah. And then the data file. That's it. Data file. Dot.
No need for the import file.
No need for import file.
Okay.
And then I need a response file. I would say res response store training.csv. Okay, that's it. Once you have it, save it. Close. So I have saved it here, so I'll execute it from here. I will test
Okay.
it. So the file has given me that the first one is failed because there is some user type issue. Other two get updated. It's not create. Since it's a second run, it got updated.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
yeah, this is how the import. Now let me. See, it should create it here.
I remember you told me once that one of the clients, he wanted the file to be by the day or the date. How were you
Yeah.
able to do that? How did you pass a dynamic response file?
Okay, for that they create a variable file, which I don't know how to do that. I'm not a technical guy. What they do in the batch file, they write something which actually what it makes is they say that one second, I have something available.
Usually they use a tag called now in brackets, so that's when the date get appended to the response file.
But uh,
But do we do that in the user interface itself? Can we do that in the batch file?
yeah, I'll 1 second.
Again, I know what you're talking about. The candidate brackets underscore file now, something like that.
Right.
Right? Yeah, but we do that in the interface itself. Taleo Connect, the normal the tool itself. I don't know in the batch file how it's done.
Yeah, let's check.
Naveen, let's say we didn't use this time thing, and every time we schedule, it's generating the same response file name. Will it overwrite in terms of on the disk? I mean,
if the file name is same, then yeah, it will overwrite. If you have that kind of variable installed in the export file, for example, here you have given response. If you give that saying that you build some Java stuff where you want to have a variable of date, today's date, and say MMDDYY, something like that. So and then a timestamp something. If you build something like that, then the response file will have that timestamp. So if since the time of the response file generated is different and the date is different, then it will have a different files saved in the same folder. And if you have the same name of the response file, then yeah, it will overwrite and it will have updated the new last run response date, time.
but how do they do it like from EF? Every time we can have a different file. How do they make that interface read from this file, not that file?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Timestamp again? Yeah. Anyway, this is technical part. I think we can use technical guys to do this for us.
Exactly. That's what even I go to them. They create one variable for me, so that which I which I inserted in. Sorry.
From my side, I try to convince them that the only way is to have the same file. No need.
I don't see it will be any issue actually. It's depend. If they want it in that way, it can be done. The only thing is we'll have to have that in the batch file, saying that if you have a variable, if you give some variable here, training underscore something which the technical guy would have defined the classes somewhere here, saying that you need to they write some codes just to generate that code, and then they'll at the end here they'll give that variable or a class mentioned here, saying that JDMMYY. That means you have to generate today's date and roll. It will get generated and it will be good for you to refer it in the later extract.
Okay. Now, okay. So to brief, there are two places where you need to change. One is the home, which is usually the original Taleo Connect folder.
Yes.
And it's preferable to be in C drive.
Yes.
And then the part where you put what files you want to run.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's depending if it's export or import. And also as well, it's preferred to be in C drive so that you can use the Windows again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Alright. So we have to make sure that the folder on the server is also in C drive. Okay.
The reason why I want to save the stuff in C drive is if otherwise the scheduler will not run actually. We had this issue, we saved it somewhere in the D drive and we were executing it, it was not running, and then we got to know from IT guys saying that if that is saved in D drive and all, then scheduler may not work efficiently. Then we moved that to C drive, then we started executing it, it worked fine. To C drive, then we started executing it, it worked fine. Maybe it's again depend upon the the user.
I understand.
Ahmad, I couldn't hear you. Can you please repeat?
It is much simpler than I thought. I think that the tricky part is the mapping part.
Yeah, exactly. Even yeah, I noticed that when you were talking yesterday, I felt that okay, you were expecting something really difficult for scheduling. No, this is very simple, straightforward. Again, if you have something which kind of defining the variables, that's again the IT guys, they should be able to do it in 2 minutes. I just gave it to someone in my team. They just created that class in the class for that to be defined in the batch file, and they gave it to me. Just I used that and I started working it. So I don't see that will be a challenge again for you as well.
All right. We actually need a favor before there's nothing else before we wrap this up. Is it possible for you to just give us the sample files that you did in the session, the example ones, not real client ones, like the batch file, the mapping file that you did, the presentation that you showed us yesterday?
Okay. I will just. This is the file, right? This file has got everything. This file has got everything here.
In this session.
Yeah, I will.
You would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll just send it to you. I'll compress it.
Abhin?
Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. You can send it in a zip file or something.
Yeah, that's what, but I cannot zip it in the sheet, right? But I cannot hear him. You can hear it? Hello, Naveen, can you hear me?
Hello, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought I lost you for a second. I couldn't hear you for a while.
Okay. I'll, uh,
From our
I'll,
side, we will try.
sorry?
If there is a question, can we refer back to you?
Yeah, you can contact Sagir. I may not be available at that point of time. He will make sure that he contact me and get the answer done. Yeah, I don't see any problem with that. Okay.
Really, thank you. Just for the, until we get used to it, and like we might like forget a step here, one or two there, like so it would be perfect if we get in contact. And
Yeah.
if you could please check if anybody of your colleagues did the scheduling on Linux.
Scheduling on the
On Linux or Unix.
Linux. Okay. Yeah, I can I'll check with someone. I'll try to get some at least a screenshot of how they do it and the sequence steps. Maybe if possible, I'll share it with Sagir. Maybe Sagir will share it with you. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
We
Welcome.
appreciate that. Because here in UAE, most servers are Linux.
Your voice is not very clear, Ahmad. I mean, is it me or is it okay for Naveen as well?
For me also same thing, Sagir. Sometime I can hear properly, but again I'll sometimes it's nothing. I don't hear anything.
How about now?
Yeah, now it's
Now
better.
it's good.
That's better. Okay, so I was saying about the Linux part because in UAE, most servers here that they use are they are using Linux.
Okay.
So if we can know how the scheduling part is done through Linux,
Okay.
we really appreciate it.
Got it. Got it.
So if you can connect like with any colleague, you
Uh,
session for it. Just
Ahmed,
yes.
I cannot. I think I cannot attach a batch file. I'll just change the.
In Notepad. In a
I'll,
Notepad, it's fine.
yeah, exactly. I'll change the format as Notepad and then I'll share it. Uh, Sagir, I will share it with you. You can forward it to them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
The nation. We appreciate it. Again, thank you for making this happen.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
I hope we will need to come back to you, but I'm almost sure that we might have to ask you a couple of questions while we're trying it.
Sure, sure. And we are open to take some work that you may give as well. So we can think about it.
Okay. I will. I will. That's not an idea that we're not thinking about, by the way.
Okay.
It is one of the approaches we'll do. Okay.
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 We'll stay in touch, and thank you very much. And we
Thank
will
you.
be expecting the file.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Have a good day.
You
All
too.
right.
Bye.
Yeah.
Congrats again for us. Hello, stop.